Welcome back to Narrow Ground Entertainment. I'm Steve the Unimpressed, and this is episode 9 of COVID Besieged. One of my family members tested positive for COVID-19, so I'm not able to go to work for a while. So I decided I would make positive use of the time by posting an episode a day in 7 Days to Die, since that seems thematically appropriate. In today's episode, I plan to run over to where my iron deposit is, off over this direction, and get some more iron mined. Hopefully that will let me craft the rest of the complement of iron tools by the end of the episode, which will be a major advancement for me from the stone tools that I've been using so far. Before I do that, I am going to run over here to the trader and unload some extra schematics and treasure that I found in yesterday's episode. And I'll also check if he has anything useful that I would like to buy. At the end of yesterday's episode, I started crafting a pistol that is now finished. It is only a quality 1 pistol, so it's not the best, but it does enable me to finally make use of all of this 9mm ammo that I've been picking up. I actually have a fair amount of this ammo stored in the supply chests that I've been leaving outside structures with the items that were not really immediately useful to me, because I didn't have any weapons that could use it. Now I do. Apparently a little rain rolled in while I was in there talking to Hugh, but that's no big deal. Hugh didn't have too much that was of interest to me, although I did take note of the restock date, which is tomorrow, so I'll have to make sure to take a trip over to the trader tomorrow. The one thing I did buy was a mod that I'm going to add to my rifle, which is the Hunter mod. This is a mod for any weapon that doubles the damage done to living beings. If you are on a multiplayer server, I believe that means it would double the damage to players. What interested me in it was it will most assuredly double the damage that I do to cougars. If I venture off into the snow again, I will at least try shooting the cougars immediately when I spot them and see if that helps out. That was a very brief rainstorm. It rolled out in the time it took me to get halfway to the iron deposit. We are back at the hole in the ground that marks out where our iron deposit is, and I'm going to do a little construction work around it on this visit. 7 Days to Die does have a physics system that allows for your mines to collapse on you if you're not careful, so I reinforce them by buttressing them like you would see in an actual mine shaft from the olden days. Dividing the mine into a 5x5 structure with a pillar every fourth block has served me well in the past, so I will continue to do that in this playthrough. I'll continue to expand this pattern the further down that I go. Each of these corner blocks will be a pillar that just goes all the way down, and periodically I'll put a cross brace on it. I like to make sure every pillar has at least one cross brace somewhere along it, connecting it to the pillar next to it. Well, to each of the pillars next to it. That way, if you wind up digging underneath that pillar in the course of deepening your mine, there's still something supporting it, which will be better demonstrated in a larger mine, so we'll save that for later in this episode, or more likely a future episode altogether. Well, in the middle of deepening my mine, I discovered that I have not been monitoring my wood supply closely enough. I am now completely out. So I'm going to go chop down a few trees. I am back from that little chore. I was hoping to put that off until I had an iron fire axe to make chopping trees a little bit easier. But it is what it is. I've also realized that this is actually an ideal spot to mine because there is not only iron here, but right next to it I have a little surface vein of potassium nitrate, which is one of the things that you need to make gunpowder. So hopefully as I expand this mine downward, I will find that I actually get two different types of ore from it. These gravel patches that you see in front of me, these lighter colored sections, are the particular reason why it's wise to support your mines in 7 Days to Die. These are weaker than the rest of the ground around them and are more likely to collapse on you. I try to dig these out as I go down wherever possible. If you dig your mines horizontally and aren't careful with how you're taking out the walls, this gravel can lose pieces of ore which will fall on the ground in a sort of a collapse, and then you won't be able to get that ore. It just kind of despawns. I am not going to mine for very much longer because my character is getting hungry and that reduces your maximum stamina, and it's a little bit hard to mine anything when you keep running out of energy. But I do want to get just a little bit more before I head back. I'm hoping to get to probably about 1,000 or 1,200 iron in my inventory. That should allow me to make as much forged iron as I need to complete the rest of the tools. I've got my 1,200 iron, so I'm going to head back to base. We have deepened this mine considerably, and if we start digging just a little bit to the south, once we're down a little bit further, we should run into potassium nitrate, which will be helpful in the future. It's actually more likely that I will decide to go over there and start another mine shaft directly down, just for safety in mining, I guess. Digging sideways into an ore deposit is always a little bit of a pain because of the possibility of collapse that I was talking about earlier. I'll have to demonstrate that in a future episode if this series goes on that long. When I eventually come back here with a few more supplies, I will fill in this roof and possibly put ramps on the side, and that will keep zombies from breaking into it for the most part, and that should enable me to spend the nights here mining if I want to. As I get further into a particular 7 Days to Die world, I tend to start trying to spend more of my time at some of the remote mines, digging deeper into those and gathering resources. Not only does that help a little bit with using the night times efficiently to gather the resources that you need, but it also helps out with that heat map thing that I was mentioning in yesterday's episode, with my base right up there on the hill. If I spend the night over here mining, it allows some of that heat to cool off, especially if you're not leaving the furnace or the workbench or the campfire running while you're gone. As I have the ability to make more forges and workbenches, I do start to make multiple of them and hide the new ones down in my mines. Since this is my iron mine, it's likely that I will eventually put a forge down here, the only purpose of which will be to continuously craft me forged iron and forged steel if I get that far into this game world. For now, though, since the day is nearing its end, I'm going to go back to my regular base and get to work on those iron tools. We're back to base, and the forge is working on some forged iron for us, so I'm going to work on expanding the mine that's directly under the base. Hopefully I can get this second layer completely mined out and the floor in, and then I will continue to go down from there to expose more of this lead deposit that I built over top of. I'm going to have to start doing some more raiding again in the near future because one of my next goals will be to make a chemistry station. That will allow me to make gunpowder more efficiently. I think I can make gunpowder now. Let me just check. But the chemistry station will let me make it with fewer supplies. I think it's about half as much. Yeah, see, there are 2 recipes for it. Nitrate powder and coal, you need 2 of each, and then to do it with the chemistry station, you only need 1 of each. So, twice as efficient if you can make a chemistry station. But I still need quite a few supplies to make a chemistry station, although I do have the knowledge. I must have found a schematic for it at some point. I need to find a beaker, quite a few bottles of acid, and short iron pipes to be able to craft a chemistry station. The beaker and the acid are things that you can only find in loot, as far as I know. The short iron pipes I can make in the forge if I need to, but it would be easier if I could just find them in the world. The next several days are likely to be devoted to quite a bit of raiding so that I can find the supplies that I need. Gunpowder will be the last thing I need to be able to make my own bullets, and ammunition in this game is going to be a critical supply. Well, it finally happened. I have something that needs repairs that's repaired with a repair kit. So I'm finally going to use one of these 5 repair kits that I found early on in the series. I will, however, have to wait for it to be repaired until I have finished crafting the iron fire axe. But that's okay. The iron fire axe is the last of the iron tools that I need to have a full set. I did discover something rather interesting while I was making those. I'm not sure if the recipes have been altered since the last time I looked at them. That's possible because it is a beta version. Things get changed sometimes. Oh, there, the iron fire axe is done. And the iron pickaxe is repaired. But it now requires a little bit more duct tape and leather, a little bit more of everything to make each of these items. And I'm not sure if the recipe was altered or if buying the perk to increase the quality level of the tools I make also increases the amount of resources needed to craft them. As far as I can tell at the moment, it could actually be either of those. If they've changed it so that higher quality tools require more material to make, that would be a first in this game. That has never been the case before. So I will have to watch the next time I decide to level up the perk that allows me to make tools to see if the material required for them increases or not. Either way, I have at least managed to accomplish my goal for this episode of getting a full set of iron tools. Let me see what I have left in the forge. Quite a bit of iron. I'm gonna craft some more of that. I would like to try and get a quality 3 iron pickaxe, because I made the iron pickaxe that I have right now before I leveled up that perk enough to make quality 3 tools. But I'm not sure that I will have enough other components to make it. In particular, I don't think I have enough bones to make any glue right now, so I think I'm stuck at 3 duct tape for now. So I'm probably going to have to put that off until a later episode. In fact, I'm just going to assume that I'm going to have to put that off to a later episode and put those supplies away. Oh, would you look at that? Right here in my own basement, I found a little bit of iron mixed in with this lead deposit. That's good news. I might actually be able to get iron out of my own basement instead of having to go to a separate mine for it. We'll see how much of that there is as we continue down. Uh-oh. Let's take a drink and get the gun out. Yep, that zombie is beating on the wall, so I'm going to have to come up here and deal with him. At least there's only one from the sound of it. Where are you? That'll show you. Let's see how much damage he did. Yep, that's going to require a little bit of repair. He didn't get through, though, and that's good. Put that iron in there right away. But it looks like my heat map is getting to be a bit of a problem, so it might be wise for me to spend tomorrow night mining over at the iron deposit instead of over here. Looks like a wolf might be helping me out over there. Or it was. Now it's running away. Well, now we're in trouble. Any more? Sounds like that's all of them, which is good. It's almost morning, so if any more show up, I should be able to fight them on the ground. Alright, I think that's where we'll leave this episode for today. Thank you for watching. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe to my channel to see more videos from me. And if you enjoy my content and want to help my channel grow, please share it with your friends. Goodbye and God bless.